What's going on, everyone? We are back today and we're going to be talking about harvest. Now, in a couple of my other farming video strategies, I talked about how I just buy the blue life force because harvest took too long. I didn't think it was crazy profitable unless you put a lot of points into it. And I just basically started to say, you know what, screw it, I'll buy the life force. I'm just going to completely ignore harvest. But since I made those videos, and like a lot of leagues go, by the end of the league, the yellow essence becomes much, much more valuable. For instance, when I first made the farming video about a month and a half ago, where I said it wasn't worth it for me anymore, and I think people should spend their time in other ways, the yellow life force sold for about 7,500 per for a divine. Now it is at about 3,800 per divine, which means it has almost doubled in price. So now, unfortunately, I have to go back and say, okay, you can do harvest and get really good profit if you do it closer towards the end of the league. So we are going to go over the basics of harvest, the most important notes to take, and just generally how to do harvest intelligently. All right, so what is the point of harvest? Why do people do harvest? Why do people buy the life force? Well, very simply, it revolves around the sort of crafting station. If you don't have one in your hideout, as always, you go down here, click edit, go to decorations, type in Horde crafting in this filter. It will pop up. You drag, drop it into your base. And what does that do? Well, it does a bunch of things, and it uses the life force as fuel. You can see, reforge a rare item, random modifiers, including a fire modifier, 50 purple essence. Okay, you put the item in here, you select this, you would hit craft, it would do that. Now, why is yellow so important or so profitable right now? Well, it is used for a lot of endgame, high risk, high reward strategies. For example, sacrifice up to a half stack of divination cards to receive between 0 and twice that amount. It's a very high risk thing. If you do this on higher cards, like a House of Mirrors card or a Apothecary or a Doctor card, you can either double the stack or you can completely eliminate it or cut it in half. There's also some more good things like give an item a synthesize modifier. There's a lot of powerful things, a lot of crafting things basically that people use that are more interesting near the end of the league because that's when more people are doing the higher risk, high reward strategies. So for the passive tree, the Atlas passive tree to be more specific, Control G to bring up your passive tree. I am not spec'd for harvest. I have a couple points in a couple things because for the sake of this video, I'm going to have to run a couple harvests so I can get footage and explain how to do it. But again, what you are going to look for is these nodes. This is the symbol for harvest right here. And if you need to know where they are, just find one, click the middle harvest icon, and as you can see, it will highlight where the other ones are. There's this one, and then there's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. You're going to want this one down here, unless you are buying sextants to force the harvest. That isn't a terrible idea, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to just assume you are just mapping normally without any sextants in order to just try and make the harvest appear. Okay, always make sure you do not have this selected. Your maps have no chance to contain the Sacred Grove, or you'll never see it, so make sure that is not selected. These are just better chance to find the Sacred Grove. These ones right here grant increased experience. Depending on your level, I very rarely take this. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but the extra monster does help sometimes. D&D. This one, Sacred Groves have a chance to contain additional harvest. This is important because crops will go up in groups of 2, and it will usually be 3 to 4. This guarantees it's more 4 or even 5. I believe you can still get 5, unless they changed that. These ones up here, harvest crops in your maps have increased chance to contain tier 3 plants. I'll explain that in a little bit, but just know tier 3 are juicy plants, and tier 4 are boss, even juicier plants. Okay. Now, since we only really want yellow, if we have to, we can take blue or purple crops or select them, but we really want the yellow crops. these are going to be pretty important. What these nodes over here do is they actually decrease the chance of certain colors showing up in the harvest. So since purple and yellow and blue, are not worth that much, you actually want to, and I know this is kind of counterintuitive, put points in the blue and in the purple and leave the yellow alone because it's a reduced chance to grow those plants, okay? Now what's annoying about this is these are kind of on the way and it is a lot of points to put in it. Do you absolutely 100% need it? No. Does it help a lot? Yes, it does if you're farming yellow essence. So I highly suggest making it over here. I know Searing Exarch is a lot more popular, so most people are over on this side of the map. But I do suggest if you can make it work to get these, not to mention this another 5% right here. And then the last one is up here, increased quantity of life force, very important. There's some more increased quantity over here, I believe. Yes, very important. You want these nodes too. All these nodes are good. The only ones that I suggest dropping are, I guess you could drop these if you don't have the points to get over here. And you could drop these if you were using a charged compass where your maps always contain harvest. You do not need the chance to contain Sacred Grove anymore because it will always be there. So those are the nodes. Again, I'm not spec'd into this tree, so don't copy this tree. Do not copy this tree. Look for the nodes, get them, figure that out. Now, if you're curious what other mechanics go really well with harvest, well, the life force goes off increased quantity of items, so stuff that works with increased quantity of items is really good. So harbingers, legion, strong boxes, anything that gets a benefit from increased quantity of items dropped is pretty good with this harvest strategy. So for the maps you run, you are going to want to run 20% quality maps. Always chisel your maps when they are white because they will get 5% quality per chisel. It only takes 4 chisels to max quality a white map. It takes more on blue. It takes a lot more on yellow. In fact, it takes 20 because they get 1% per. So always chisel your maps on white if you can help it. Then you either want to do blue or yellow. Now, highly suggest yellow or rare maps. Find ones you can do, but I don't want you to think, oh, I can't do yellow maps yet. You can do blue. Just get as much quantity as possible. Especially, it doesn't matter as much if you're not forcing the harvest. In other words, you're paying for that harvest to be there, so you should really be trying to squeeze as much possible life force out of that harvest each time. But if you're just running maps for the sake of running them and just doing it whenever you run into harvest, you are good. Alright, so you're in a map, you found a harvest. It looks like this. It's called the Sacred Grove. It has this icon on the map, this blue little cool portal tree looking thing. You go in and there will be nothing here but these, and you can hold Alt and look, but these crops, and they go in pairs of 2 and they're paired together. So one there, one there. If you have the Atlas passives, there will probably be one here and there will be one here. Okay, sometimes you can get 5. There will be another one right here. Okay, so what do you do when you get these? Well, you obviously want the yellow essence, and like I said, they're paired in 2. They want you to pick one. Now, there is an Atlas node that you get. It's in the passive tree where there is a chance that when you select this one, because this is yellow, we're always going to pick the yellow. Well, not always the yellow, but in this instance, we're going to pick the yellow. This might not disappear. So that is an important node to get sometimes too. Sometimes get lucky, you get an extra node, especially if it's 2 decent yellow ones. You pick one, second yellow one doesn't go away, you get a free crop. Okay, now the main colors, the main things we're worried about is the bottom ones. You can see these. This is a 1X and it's got a blue tint to it. This is a 1X, has a blue tint to it. That means it will drop one stronger, like slightly stronger monster that is guaranteed to drop the life force. Okay, so this will drop the blue life force, this will drop the yellow. Now, if you go to some of these other ones, this is 2 purple. That also just says 1 blue, 1 blue. But sometimes you will see that... Okay, they are helping me out here. Sometimes there will be no blue. Sometimes it will be all white, which means none of the monsters are guaranteed to drop essence, which sucks, which means you could click on this button, kill the monsters, and get absolutely nothing for it. Okay, but this one is a 2 times yellow. This one is a 1 times purple. We always do yellow anyways, but this is a better one either way. Now, the only time we probably won't pick yellow is say these are all white and you have like 2x on purple, or you have 3x, or even you have a orange one. Now, a orange one is a boss. Those are very good. One, because they drop a good amount of life force of that color, and they have a chance of dropping a Sacred Blossom. Now, a Sacred Blossom is an item that you put in the map device and you fight Oshabi, and she drops a Sacralized Crystallized Life Force, one of them, which is just another thing you use in the Hoarder Crafting Bench to do more expensive crafts. I think they sell for about 2 for a Divine Orb. That's what it used to be. Don't quote me on that, I haven't looked at it in a while. But you could also drop an item called the Shaco Helm. It gets a bunch of random socketed gems are supported by. You can get a like Ice Bite, a high level Ice Bite. It'll be worth a ton of divines. It's really kind of a gamble thing. I have a video where I killed her a bunch to farm these Shakos, so if you want to know more on her, feel free to check out that video a little bit. Spoiler alert, didn't really get anything that great. Alright, so when you are ready, we want this yellow one. We are going to click this, and it will spawn white monsters first. See, we get a little bit of life force. That's just lucky. They don't have to drop that. I will die because this build is very not made, and also this map has reflect physical, so that is also not good for me. But it will spawn the white monsters, and then it will spawn the blue and yellow. Those are mines. Those aren't cool. And then when you kill them, it will drop the life force. You pick it up. Now, I do not have the Atlas passive nodes, so it will not drop a ton of life force for me. But even with no passive nodes, just that one gave me 7.5 chaos for just that. So yellow is very, very good. So you would go around here and you would pick all of the yellows. If there was no yellows, just pick the one that has more of the blue monsters. If both of them are white, say there was nothing but white blue and nothing but white blue, I personally would just skip it. It's not worth the time. Move on. So yeah, that was Harvest, and that is a amazing way to make money right now. It is very hot right now. That is a very simple thing. If I miss anything, I'll put it in the comments. You might want to read the comments. I might have missed stuff. Harvest is not complicated. I'm not going to long wind this out any much longer. Tried to keep this short, even though I rambled on a little bit. But that is the basics of how you do Harvest. So that is Harvest, guys, and thanks for watching. As always, if you like the content, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you want to see some more POE content. And really, try to join the Twitch. It'll be in the description, twitch.tv. So Safe on Talk. A lot of cool people hanging out in the streams. We have a lot of fun joking around and just playing some POE. So it'd be great if you could join us over there. But until next time, everyone, thank you for the support and leaving a like and all that. And we will catch you next time.